What's up, guys? Jason Dye back at you with another commentating my own races. It's been a little while, hasn't it? At least 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Just been really busy with work and with life and all that stuff, and the fact that I've had like 6 events back to back to back every weekend, it just made it really difficult to try to get some of these videos out. But enough with excuses. This race that I'm about to do is with South Florida Mini GP. South Florida Mini GP is a franchise of New Jersey Mini GP. Not sure the history with all that, but it's pretty cool that we have a mini bike racing series down here in Florida to enjoy, and the times when I'm not like racing the big bikes. And minis are a lot of fun too. So yeah, we normally go to kart tracks with the minis because normal tracks are just a little too big and these bikes just aren't fast enough to make it enjoyable. Some people might argue that, but for me, just not really the case. So this race that I'm about to go in right now is the Grom Cup. It's not in the normal catalog of races. It's just something that just came about, I guess, in South Florida Mini GP series because a lot of people racing minis have Groms. And the Grom Cup is open to any Grom-like bike. So I'm on my Z125, which qualifies for that. The other bikes on the grid other than Groms are, well, there's only one other bike manufacturer out there, is Motrac. And Motrac is a independent mini bike manufacturer. Not sure where they're making their stuff up. I think it's from China. For the most part, they make a bike very, very similar to the Grom, but it's a lot cheaper. I think it's a couple of $100 cheaper than the Grom off the showroom floor. So right now we're just doing our outlap. The start finish line is actually like in the middle of the track from where we pit out and where we pit in. So Orlando Kart Center normally doesn't allow mini bikes there. It's kind of more of a recent thing, at least for this year. One of the main hesitations for a lot of kart tracks with mini bikes is that mini bikes have a lot of hard parts that could drag and damage their racing surfaces, and a lot of these kart tracks do spend millions of dollars, I think, at least that's what they tell us, millions of dollars on their surfaces. So, you know, one of the things that we have to do in order to pass tech is to show that any part of the bike that can drag is protected by some sort of slider. Alright, so here we are rolling up onto the grid, start finish. Now, unlike the other races that we're doing with South Florida Mini GP, there's no qualifying for the Grom Cup. So when we show up to pit out, getting ready to go, that's the grid order. So it pays to get out there early. I didn't get out there nearly early enough, but it's okay. You know, this is more kind of a fun race. No points really awarded for this event, I don't think. Could be wrong about that. So my telemetry just popped up. Really cool thing about the Moto D Start Next lap timer is that you could set custom tracks just by setting a start finish point. And that's what I did for this whole event at Orlando Kart Center. And there you got Sean Dylan Kelly kind of sliding out on the Motrac. Super cool guy. He raced in the Rebels Rookie Cup really fast. You gotta be. So they're putting him out to the back because he's trying to make it fair for everyone else, I guess. Anyway, here we go. Revs are up. Can't see the flag, but here we go. Off on the start. One thing that I forgot to do this whole event was to push off the bike. Going here into turn 1. Actually, these turns aren't really numbered, so we don't really know. And Sean Dylan Kelly's already passed all of us off the start. Try to get by this guy on the Motrac. Brake hard into this turn. Not too great on the exit. Let off the throttle, turn in, back on the throttle, not soon enough. The thing about the mini bikes is that you could just pretty much whack the throttle and it's not really going to throw you off because there's not enough power. Long right sweeper here. Into a quick little chicane. Into a right hairpin. And onto a straight. Last time we were here, we had the longer straight. This is the shorter straight configuration. So here when we return, we'd actually go straight in the longer configuration. Into that hairpin. Here's a little chicane. And then to a left long sweeping left-hander. Really tricky left-hander right there. And then back onto the front straight. So nice little short little configuration of a track. Lots of fun. Downshift. Tip it in. Did a little bit braking there too. Double apex. Right, left. Stay on, stay on. Can't let off at all. Brake, brake, turn. At this point, I'm already getting left behind by most of the Groms. I'm not gonna make excuses to say that my bike is slower than the rest of the Groms, because even though it is, I haven't done a lot to my bike yet. There's a few mods that I'm already putting on there, like suspension, that's gonna help a lot. But as far as power goes, a lot of these Groms have been modified. Some of them race in a higher class. There's a lot of different classes, like they have stock 100, which means it's just a stock bike off the showroom floor, pretty much. Then you have F1, which means no engine modification. No engine modifications, which increase the bore size. And then you have F2, which is like anything goes. My bike, since it has an exhaust, disqualifies me from stock 100, but it puts me into the F1 class. And with the F1 class, there's a lot of Groms with high compression kits that count for that class because it doesn't increase the bore size, but it increases horsepower because now they're running higher compression. A lot of them have, you know, some kind of power commander or some fuel map, like fuel piggyback system to help tune their fuel and everything. So yeah. So you got Yusuf Ferrari behind me right now. He got a really bad start, but he's just right on my butt, looking to make that pass somewhere. And I've already been left behind. Yeah. Oh, there goes Yusuf right in front of me. Great. I'm gonna do my best to try to keep up with him. The rest of the people kind of got no chance. At least not at this point. I'm still learning the bike. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses, but this is my second race on the bike, so I'm still learning a lot about the bike. Learning about, you know, like setting it up. I do got some pretty decent tires, at least from common opinion. The Midas, the Mitas, however you say it, RC35s, the medium compound ones. Much sought after actually, and they're actually kind of hard to find. But they stick really well. Another popular tire is the Dunlop TT93, which is what a lot of people are running. Offers amazing grip. They say that it's almost impossible to crash it. But I'm not going to say challenge accepted, but I've seen people crash the TT93s. They're great tires, just like the Mitas tires. So Yusuf is kind of gapping me a bit. I'm not in last place, though I'm pretty close to it. I think there's a couple of Motraks, one Motrak or maybe two Motraks behind me. So the Grom is one of the platforms to fight against, and the Grom is a well-developed platform at this point because it's been around the United States for a while now, so there's a lot of aftermarket support. Now, the Z125 stock for stock is about the same. I mean, like if you were to place a stock Grom and a stock Z125, there's some advantages to one and some disadvantage to the other. It works out to pretty much even out. But as far as aftermarket support goes, the Grom does have that market completely cornered. The Z125 is coming out with a lot of aftermarket parts that are going to make it more competitive with the Groms. So I'm learning which parts I'm going to need, and the first bit is going to be suspension. So this whole weekend, or it was only one day, so this whole day, you know, trying to learn the bike, even though I did get the 4-hour race at Bushnell, like try to learn a bit. I learned a little bit, and that the suspension is too soft for what I'm doing. You know, it's better than the Grom stock for stock, like I said, but as far as suspension goes, still too soft, making it difficult to really turn the bike because I'm bottoming out the front, bottoming out the rear. It's just kind of bouncing around, not inspiring a lot of confidence. And it's a lot different from the bigger bikes. I mean, I made a video, which I'm going to link up to the upper right, where I talk about ways to kind of keep your race mind about you, how to practice when you can't go to the track. And mini bikes is one of those methods, you know, like because there's some things that you could transfer over, but overall, like, because C time, but overall, like the feel of the mini bike is completely different. And I wouldn't say like, hey, if I'm learning to get fast on a mini bike, it's gonna really translate over to the big bike, like one for one. So for the most part, I mean, like Yusuf is still gapping me, but not as fast as I was expecting. And I've already put in some laps here, a lot of 107s, consistent 107s, dropping time. I hit a high 106. Take a right here, back on the gas. Top speed so far is 49 miles an hour. I think my Z125 will top out at like 55, 60 miles an hour. It's pretty much there. Another thing people were saying that I could have helped me was the gearing. If I ran a shorter gearing, my acceleration out of corners may have been better. Maybe some of the turns may have been better, because as far as where I am in the RPMs, that could have helped. And the feel of the bike, it might have helped with the feel of the bike. But with the suspension so soft, one of the things I had to learn was to be really smooth, because if I was too aggressive turning the bike, it would kind of fight me. It would bounce around and kind of fight me. So yeah, definitely not one of the more exciting races I had this weekend. Not a lot of passing on my part. Did get passed quite a bit in the beginning. Now this race is a 10-lap race. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. So they have, when you go to a mini GP event, at least with South Florida mini GP and New Jersey mini GP, they have, you sign up for like one of the classes, like Stock 100, F1, F2. And then they have 2 races for each of those classes. One is the heat race, and one is the main event race. The heat races are 5 or 6 laps depending on the track, and then the main event races are 10 laps. So I'm already on lap 7. It's a little longer. And so I wouldn't look down on mini bikes, because there's still a lot of work. After this event, I was completely wrecked. I don't know if you were paying attention and just kind of like noticing how I was through every lap, you would see that with some of them, especially that last lap, that I was going better through a lot of these turns, taking better lines, getting back on the gas sooner. Again, learning the bike. Since we're only here for a day, we only get like two practice sessions, a qualified session for each of our classes that we run, which I only ran one class, so I only have one qualifying session. It was not a lot of practice, you know, and every time I go to a track, I mean, I'm getting better about it now, but a lot of times I go to a track, even a track I've been to, and it takes, I would like a day to kind of get up to speed. But with South Florida Mini GP, you know, they're just, I don't know, not as many events, and they're just trying to get it over with within a day, because a lot of people have to work, and you know, taking time off is tough. Now, we do have a lot of people traveling to Orlando Car Center. Me, not so much, because I live in Orlando, so it's about half an hour drive for me, which is really nice. But there's a lot of people coming from South Florida and other areas of Florida, and they had to really like make the drive up here. It's going to be at least 2.5 hours from most places. Gas, and here we go to the sweeping right, which is fun. Can't take it at full throttle, at least I don't think. Maybe you can. Maybe that's one thing that was slowing me down. And the last lap was a 106.7, my best lap so far. Maybe the best lap of that weekend. And that's one of the reasons why I chose this race, even though I prefer battles in my videos, because battles just make it more interesting, was that this race was my fastest race of the weekend. So figured that I would put that one up first, and then I'll go through the other races, see if they're more interesting, more battling, and perhaps I'll do one of those as well. But actually, let me know, guys, if you like to see these mini bike races as well. I could definitely put more of these up there. Not at the moment. I'll maybe have a couple more that I could put up there. But in the future, if you'd like to see the mini bike races too, I could definitely include these. And if you don't, in the comments below, let me know, and I will stick to the bigger bike races, the ones that I'm better at. All right, so this is lap 10. This is it. Yusuf is nowhere to be found. There's no one behind me. There is someone behind me, but they're also nowhere to be found. So I'm just by myself in a weird little place. But I'm hoping, you know, like in the coming year, in 2018, I'll have more opportunities to really ride this bike and figure it out. And then I could do better at these races and be more competitive. And I need to figure out what else I need to do to this bike. I bought this bike because it was a cheap performer racing than the bigger bikes. but it looks like I'm still spending money. So anything you do, you know, like there's other cheaper forms of racing. Oh, and the race is over. So there's cheaper forms of racing. This is one of the cheaper forms of racing, but compared to like dirt bikes and other types of racing, it's still a bit more expensive. And I guess it all really depends on how much money you want to put into it. For me, I want to be competitive. It's kind of tough not to try to spend the money. And so we're done here, and I'm just gonna be going off to the left for pit out. And it was kind of funny, like this, after I think it was noon, and we were already like in the early afternoon here, there's rental carts, people on rental carts ready to go out. So we had like sessions where it was us and then them. It was kind of nice, gave us a little bit more of a break, and it was hot this day, so it was a little nice having a little bit more of a break. Anyway, so that pretty much does it for this race. If you guys found it interesting, hit that like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Or if you'd like to see the other videos, if you haven't seen them yet, go check out my YouTube channel. Check the regular my Moto Life playlist, where you know I do the vlog of the weekend. And I'll link this video in the upper right. It should show up right now, of this weekend, where I vlogged this weekend. And if you like videos like that, you like videos like this, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Really appreciate that. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. If you want to see more mini bikes, or if you just want to, you don't care about mini bikes, you want to see the bigger bikes, yeah, let me know in the comments below. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.